Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We are back again. Finally got this thing finished up. So we put the 10s on it and call it good. But anyhow, like I said, we got this all finished up. Wanted to kind of run it around here with you guys just for a minute and show you the completion of it. All right. So I tried to go ahead and utilize everything that was left, or within reason anyways, on this. Granted, a few things had to change as far as on the overall tune, mainly because of the fact that we didn't use the same output transformers more so than anything. The input transformer, since everything's made like it is, it's very difficult to actually utilize the transformers that are physically on the board. So, I went ahead and I robbed all the components that were good and used as much of it as I could as far as on the build itself. Some of the components did need to change just a little bit. I did add or make the input capacitance here just a little bit higher, which helped out with the input tune a little bit more. I had to change the output tune from what the original manufacturer had, changed it a little bit, and retuned it. Same thing with the input. Because I didn't use the same form of combiner that they used, which is 1/4 by 5/8. Hello, Carl, or Mr. Carlock and Bruce. But because I didn't use the same, the same overall original build as what they did, there were several different things that had to change. Now, one of the things that you're going to probably notice, and it's way, 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 way overkill, but it was easier because it was kind of a bastard on the output tune. I went ahead and I used a tuning choke, or excuse me, a sliding capacitor is what it amounts to. So I did that just to go ahead and make sure that we were able to get the output reflect down to where it needs to be. So we cannibalized within reason, every usable part. The only thing that really concerned me was the 1446. So I did not use that. I did go ahead and put an MRF 454 in place. So, we did that, which is probably good and bad at the same time. And I'll get to that here in a second. But, the biasing was kind of unique because I went ahead and actually had to make a slight change and modification to that as well, on the biasing, mainly because of the fact that the way they design theirs is they use, and I do apologize for the camera moving here. Let's see if I can tighten that up, maybe stabilize the camera a little bit more. I usually keep everything pretty loose on the on the overall mount, just so that it doesn't, or so that it's easy to move. Okay, so all right. But anyways, they use these 2 sandbar resistors is what it amounts to. But that's not all that they use. What they do is they actually take the incoming voltage, which is split between these two, to create, for example, if you have 14 volts going in, essentially what it is you're going to have 7 volts on the voltage divider, which is what they created. So you're going to have 7 volts that they are using at that point and going through a similar circuit to what we've already built here. So, knowing that the biasing needed to be much lower on these than they do with most of the other things, it's the reason why I went ahead and made some other alterations here. Let me shut all these lights off here, get some of that excess glow off. There we go. So, hello, Wild Bill. King Loneliness, I see you popped in. Surprised Mr. 3Mate hasn't popped in yet or made an appearance. So I'll just send him a message. There we go. Because I'm sure he's going to be interested in this. But in the mix of all of this and trying to use the pieces and parts that were left over on the overall build, I came across why he was having so many problems with this. So, yep, short timer later. But anyways, I came across the whole reason why he was having problems with the original Palomar. Because of the fact that we cannibalized everything and went through and started testing it. This is one of the components that I didn't test before starting this. But I thought, hey, I'll just use one of these for the input tune on the one pill and go from there. Because it would just make things a lot faster. That's the only reason why I wanted to do that. Well, when I did, obviously I had a high reflect on the input. So I started to tune this, and suddenly the amplifier went completely and utterly dead. Well, when the amplifier went completely and utterly dead, I thought, okay, well, we finally, one of the transistors finally just gave up the ghost. Well, I gave it a second and keyed it back up, and it popped back into working again. Thought that was kind of strange, so I went back and started tuning it. And as soon as I tuned it, tried to tune it a little bit more to go back and forth, that's when this failed again. So this has actually got a short in it. So it was one of those that I found this by trial and error, and it just so happened I picked up the bad one right out of the gate. So replaced it with the other one after I checked it, and it works good. So I think, Bruce, this was your original problem with the with the old Palomar Elite. So took care of that. It's my alarm telling me, hey, you got to get up no matter what. So anyhow, so I think this is what was causing you all your problems. Now, I've ran this pretty hard for the last hour here on the workbench between, doing the last little bit of tuning and tweaking on it and what have you. So we'll go through here real quick. The only thing that's left is I still have to do the pass-through tune, which is not a real big deal, but we'll get to that towards the end of this. So, but anyhow, so we're going to start out on sideband, since that's where I'm actually at right now. I've got the sideband bias down where it needs to be. My other microphone here up and out of the way. So, give it a little bit of a turn. All right, so just shut this off here. For example, right now, if we wanted to, we could kind of halfway check the pass through just by looking at our 5-watt slug here in reverse. Hello, 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 audio. So you're not going to even see it hardly move. But like I said, we'll do a pass through tune with meter and, fine tune it as far as on that. But I've already got my radio set. I've set it down fairly low, and it's still fairly strong for this particular amplifier. But we also put a tuner in it, but I've got it wide open right at the moment. So let's go ahead and turn our biasing on and sideband. Hello, check, check, check. Audio, audio, audio. So you're going to see it come up a little bit on the sideband. If we back that off just a little bit, because like I said, sideband's a little wonky. Hello, hello, hello. Audio, audio. So we're holding at about a 0.5 watt reflect on the input on the sideband. Audio, and a little less than a half a watt reflect on the output. Numbers, okay, I've got a 1,000 watt slug in peak and a 500 in RMS. Audio, it's almost 500. Hello, check 1 2 1 2 on the peak. Hello, and just a little over 350 on the RMS. So flip the sideband biasing off. Let's go over here to AM. Turn the radio down here. Hello, audio. So about 500. Audio, and about 200 on the RMS. Now I do have the variable turned back on the radio just a little bit, and I'll show you why. Because my radio only goes down to about 1 watt, and that gives us about an 80 watt dead key. If I turn this all the way up, you know, we're already at 250. That's just a little too much for this. So that's the reason why we've got the variable in there to go ahead and kind of compensate. Again, you know, every radio is going to be different. Even if you've got a fixed carrier of, let's say, a half a watt, a lot of radios sound really horrible when you get down to that half to a quarter watt, trying to get it to match down to this as far as your amplifier. So, you know, got some decent numbers. Preamp, let's turn the volume up here. Even though we're on the dummy load right now. All right. Turn that back a little bit. Hello, squirrel. So, all right. Hello, popcorn. Anyhow, this has been a very interesting repair / rebuild, just because, like I said, you know, not everything is as it originally was. So, like I said, you know, we had to make some changes, to make up for, 1 1/4 transformer versus a 1 inch. The biasing, like I said, I had to actually go back and modify the biasing in order to go ahead and pull the biasing down even more, because of the fact that, otherwise it was just too much. But otherwise, we've got this up and going. Played with it a little bit. I don't usually like to talk on anything real heavy this early in the afternoon when everybody's still awake. But anyhow, like I said, we do have you up and going, Bruce. We've got, like I said, a lot of used components in there. There's several new components, obviously, but I would have used the transformers off the board if we could have, but what it would have cost to pull those off, modify them, rebuild them, and put them back together, it's more economical to actually just sell you new ones than what it costs to redo that. I do have tubes, I do have plates, where we could have went ahead and put them back together, but again, I can buy these more economically than I can pull them apart and build them. So it's just not, practical in that format. But we use type 61 all the way through it. So again, you should be able to, tune this for pretty much anything you need to. I do recommend turning the variable here on the front. Like I said, I know originally we talked about not putting one in there, but whenever I tried to start attenuating it, it was just easier to use the variable, and you're still going to get tons of swing out of this thing. If we can get this into the camera at the same time or not, if I can get backed up enough. So again, I can't get my radio down any lower, mainly because of the fact that it just doesn't want to play well with play well with other devices. So there's, like I said, a 250 dead key. There's 50. Let's turn down to 25 watt dead key. Hello, audio. And you're still going to see 500 PEP. Audio. And about 200 bird. So you're pretty much right there. You can overdrive this and see some numbers like you do on sideband, as far as the 300 plus. But at the same time, I don't know how those transistors are going to hold up under extreme use. They were only built. These amplifiers were originally only built for, like I said, basically a Cobra 29, 148. That kind of drive. So, we got to kind of keep that into consideration too. So, and we've got a little bit hotter transistor in there than that 1446 that's driving the whole system up. But anyways, guys, got this one finished. I am going to go probably take and get me a small snack before I go to work. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, Bruce, I'll get the 10 on this. I've already got you a new fan put in there. I'll figure you a price here, hopefully in the morning, and shoot that over to you. But oh yeah, I got your I got your little filter guard put on there too. Like I said, we used a new fan mainly because of the fact that the other one, the mounting tab that we needed, was actually broke on it. The fan still works, and you're welcome to take that home with you when you come pick it up. Went ahead and wrapped that with Kapton to go ahead and keep it from moving. So I don't think you're going to have any problems with it because it's pretty stiff the way it is. But anyhow, guys, I appreciate it. Like I said, come back and join us again on the next video, and we will see you hopefully this weekend. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your weekend coming up.